Hello there, this is Jenny from Designs with Paper. Thank you for stopping by my channel. I have an art journal video for you, so get comfy and let's get crafting. I will be working in the 8x8 inch mixed media journal that I purchased from Amazon, and I'm working again with stamperia. This is a forest paper pad, and I have chosen this background paper that looks a little bit collaged together. And this image, I'm going to be using that red squirrel, and I'm going to be showing you another way that you can use these collage style backgrounds to create a background page. I also have a couple pieces of green and brown cardstock, and I have printed my sentiment, or my quote, I guess is a better word for it, on with my label maker. The first thing I'm going to do is take this paper and trim it down about a 1/4 inch on all 4 sides. There is a little bit of a border around this page, and I'm just trying to make it fit. So these papers are 8x8 inch, and my mixed media journal or notebook is 8x8, but that does not take into account the inch that the spiral takes up. So I'm going to trim it down. I did end up trimming it a little bit more. I ended up taking about another 1/4, 1/2 an inch off of the top and the bottom to make it fit top and bottom. And then I am going to go ahead and trim out this squirrel. I only need the squirrel this time, so I'm trying to be very delicate and trim just this squirrel out and leave the rest of the little square images in this paper. It's really easy to do with this Fiskars trimmer because the wire just tells you exactly where to cut, and you can just use the guides on the side of the blade. So it worked out perfectly. The first thing I'm going to do is take this piece of paper and put a layer of clear gesso over the top of it. So looking at this paper, it looks like there have been a lot of different pieces of paper collaged together and even washi taped or taped together. And I am going to just work on this paper without cutting it apart. So I know on the last stamperia collage background I used, I did cut the pieces apart. And this time I'm going to show you another method. Now that it's dry, I'm going to go ahead and ink up the edges with my archival ink. This is potting soil, I believe, and an ink blending sponge or foam, whatever you want to call them, or call it. I always know what it is in my brain, and then I go to tell you what it is, and I forget what it's called. Okay, so the way I am going to accentuate this collage look of the paper is to use my Derwent Inktense pencil. So these pencils are actually a waterproof ink, and the ink comes out in pencil form. And once you have activated all of the pigment with water, it is then permanent and does not smear or reactivate. So my plan here is to go around all of these pieces that look like little parts and pieces cut off of other pieces of paper and emphasize that kind of collage look. And you can see there are some places where it has been printed to appear that washi tape has also been used. And I will be addressing that also. For now, I'm just going to take my Derwent pencil around all of the pieces of paper. I'm using air quotes there like you can see me. And then I'm going to go back over it with my water brush. Now this water brush is not, the water's not coming out of it. And I go to use it every time and then forget that I need to figure out what's going on with that. So I just have a little puddle of water on the craft mat on the left side of my desk there. But I'm activating all of that pigment with the water brush. I'm occasionally dabbing the tip of my water brush off on that orange microfiber cloth at the top of the screen there. But mostly I'm just trying to activate all that pigment, and that makes the pigment darker. So here is when we're going to address that washi tape look. So I have this set of washi tapes that are all nature inspired, and I decided to use this green one, and I'm going to kind of put a piece of washi tape on some of the places where it looks like washi tape was used in the background paper. Now, probably I should have used a thinner tape. This is a little bit thicker and doesn't quite have the same effect, especially because it's green and the background is mostly brown. But that's okay because green is my favorite and I'm going to just use it anyway. So I am just going to kind of speed through this and put some washi tape on all of the places where it appeared that washi tape had been used before. I wasn't really I don't know. I just was kind of going for it. I wasn't worried too much about making it look perfect, right? I'm just going for making this background paper look like a piece of collage work. Now, washi tape is wonderful, wonderful tape. This paper tape, it's beautiful. It has lots of patterns on it, but it's not really known for its stickability, right? It's not a long-term stick. So I am going to pull out that clear gesso again and just go over the page with my clear gesso again. Clear gesso has some of the same properties as gel adhesive. So that washi tape is now stuck down kind of forever and ever, or until I pick at it, one or the other. Okay, so now on to the focal image. I am going to take this squirrel and I'm going to ink blend the outside edges of this square. I'm just kind of trying to create a border or a frame. Also kind of hide the fact that it is printed on white paper and that white core is going to kind of stand out. Well, the first thing I want to do is mat this on that green paper. And I chose green, even though it's not exactly the same green as the washi tape, just to introduce a little bit more color. Some of the images on the background paper have a little bit of green on them. So I'm just kind of using that hint of green as my pop of color. And as you can see, this is a tiny, tiny border. Once I get that tape down with my double-sided tape using my ATG gun, I will go ahead and pull out my Fiskars trimmer so that I can line that up and just make a really narrow border. And once I have the green mat all down, and we'll go ahead and mount this onto the brown cardstock as well. I don't know, they're probably Stampin' Up! Cardstocks. Most of my cardstock is, I couldn't tell you what color they are. They just matched. That's how I roll. It just matched. It went together. It looked pretty. If I had to guess, I would say it's probably early espresso and maybe wild wasabi, but I don't know. I'm going to do the same thing on this brown cardstock. I'm going to give it a little mat, slightly bigger than the green, but not much, and then trim it down with the Fiskars trimmer. And then it will be ready to place onto my art journal page. I like my Fiskars trimmer. I know you've heard me say it before. The only thing I don't like about it is how quickly I go through blades. But I suppose that is the downside to crafting with paper, right? How many of your moms hid their cloth scissors, their fabric scissors? I'm just saying, when I bought my first pair of really, really expensive fabric scissors, I put a suitcase lock through the handle so they couldn't be opened. Totally did. All right, I'm going to use gel medium to adhere my squirrel focal point down to the background page of my art journal. I'm just going to slap it on there with a brush. I don't know, 1 inch, 1.5 inch. Just going to slap it on there, put the gel medium on the back of the cardstock first because it is a thicker paper. And then I'm going to put a layer of gel medium around the edges and over the top. The reason I used gel medium was in case I decided I needed to add some more shading. I don't know why else I don't know why I thought it needed more shading. Okay, so next step is to add my quote. And it says, always find times for the things that make you happy. And I kind of felt like that went with that little squirrel there. He's sitting there shoving his food in his cheeks, getting all ready for winter. I feel like I do that all year round, shoving food in my cheeks and getting ready for winter. Oh, maybe that's why I like that squirrel image. Just saying. Okay, I printed this quote on my label maker, and I'm just going to take the backing paper off and adhere it to the front of my art journal page. I did speed this up because it's a little fiddly. I bought a different brand, so this is not the name brand, the Brother brand tape that goes, that's made by Brother for my label maker. It's an Amazon off brand, and I've never purchased a black label until now, and I kind of like it for art journaling especially. I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks good when I'm labeling things in my house too, but I like it for art journaling. I am going to go ahead and add a layer of gel medium to the top of that as well, partially to take the shine off the tape and partially to make sure it stays stuck down. And I'm just fiddling with it, making sure all of the edges are not looking white. And now I need to adhere this to my art journal page, or my art journal rather. So I am going to My first thought was to pull out my ATG gun, but then I thought, no, this is kind of heavy in that one space. I need to use something a little bit more sturdy. So I am pulling out this Suquain tape. Is that the brand? Suquain? I don't know. Tear and tape. You know, you can. It's really super sticky, but you can tear it. Like, I like how sticky the red line tape is, but I hate that you can't tear it. You have to cut it. And so I prefer this particular tape because it just is really easy to tear with your fingers. Now I am putting it all the way around the edge, and I'm trying to get as close to the edge as possible. And then I'm going to go through the middle a couple of times. And I'm going to do a trick I have seen on card making videos where you pull the backing to the adhesive off just halfway, because this is a super sticky adhesive, and this will give me just a little bit of wiggle room if I have to rearrange, right? So now I'm going to, I did pull all of the adhesive paper off the middle sections. So now I am just going to try and line it up into my mixed media pad, my art journal, as squarely as I can. I want to get as even borders on the side as I can. I'm trying to get it as close to the spiral as I can without ruining it. And then I will pull the backing off the adhesive the rest of the way. And that way it's stuck down for good. It's super strong adhesive. It should hold that extra layer of cardstock behind the squirrel with no problem at all. All right, so here is my latest installation of stamperia papers and art journaling. I hope you enjoyed the video. This is just another way that you can take those background papers that look like they've been collaged and accentuate that look. And they've done all the work for you, so you don't have to worry about collaging the images together yourself. Thank you so much for stopping by. Here are a couple other videos that you might enjoy, as well as my subscribe button. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you did. Leave me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and as always, have a really fabulous, fabulous day.